Industrial hemp bill passed. Sue loses even more friends. 2 charged for stopping in Mabaruma. And crude output peaked in June. I'm Noriko Bulford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. Yesterday, the government passed the Industrial Hemp Bill. The bill addresses the legal procedures for cultivating and manufacturing industrial hemp, as well as hemp-related products locally. But more importantly, it proposes the establishment of an industrial hemp regulatory authority. No one will be allowed to cultivate and participate in hemp-related activities without a license or be fined 500,000 Guyana dollars and imprisoned for 1 year. Yesterday, the National Assembly also approved the Low Carbon Development Strategy 2030. The LCDS 2030 outlines a vision for inclusive sustainable development while simultaneously maintaining the country's forests. Basically, polluting corporations in the Western world will give us billions of US dollars not to cut down our trees. And we'll basically take the money, which we're free to spend on just about whatever. The LCDS 2030 says the funds will go to renewable energy and other national development projects. But we'll see how this truly pans out. Nandalal said Guyana will have to pay US $3 million in legal fees to defend itself against the US $100 million lawsuit brought by Smart City Solutions over the terminated parking meters project. He made the disclosure during yesterday's sitting of the National Assembly, while a supplementary provision of 100 million Guyana dollars was being considered for his ministry. According to Nandalal, the $3 million US will go towards the ongoing arbitration case in DC. Today is International Indigenous Peoples Day. This year's theme is the role of Indigenous women in the preservation and transmission of traditional knowledge. Women are the backbone of Indigenous peoples' communities and play a crucial role in the preservation and transmission of traditional ancestral knowledge. They have an integral collective and community role as carers of natural resources and keepers of scientific knowledge. Many Indigenous women are also taking the lead in the defense of lands and territories, as well as advocating for Indigenous peoples' collective rights worldwide. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's Car of the Week. Currently on sale is this 2016 Suzuki Jimny Sierra 4-wheel drive. It comes with regular and low-range 4-wheel drive, Bluetooth, mug rims, new tires, TV, CD, stereo fog lamps, back camera, and much, much more. Buy cash for $3.4 million, or pay as low as $700,000 down, with around $67,000 monthly for 5 years, and it is yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit the showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Queenstown, a Lot 2 Lama Street, and tell them that you can send you for this sweet deal. Mr. Sue is apparently losing friends by the day. Another Chinese company has come forward to publicly distance themselves from Su Zhirong. A notice in yesterday's Kaiche News stated, quote, contrary to the public pronouncement and assumption, this is to inform the general public that Su Zhirong is not in any way connected with the company China Zhonghao Incorporated, end quote. He served as the director of China Zhonghao Incorporated from the 26th of April 2013 to the 5th of January 2016 and has not been affiliated with the company ever since. Last night, 22-year-old Vanessa Anderson was stabbed to death by her neighbors following an argument that erupted between them last week. According to reports, the fatal stabbing took place at around 5:30 p.m. on the street just in front of Anderson's home in Sophia, Greater Georgetown. The suspects, who were both sisters, are currently in police custody. Emergency works on the Mora Bridge near Toka Village in the North Rupununi wetlands has been completed at a cost of 12 million Guyana dollars. The Public Works Ministry said that a Brazilian truck laden with corn broke a beam and then fell off the bridge while attempting to cross. Lumber King Enterprises began repairs on August 5th of this year. The work entailed replacing all damaged beams and installing new deck plans as well as running boards. On Friday, 30-year-old Alex Ned was remanded to prison for the murder of Rodwell Phillips. He was not required to plead to the indictable charge of murder. Ned is expected back in court August 25th. 22-year-old Wayne De Silva, as well as a 16-year-old accomplice, were on Monday remanded for the murder of Jude Cristino. Cristino was fatally stabbed during a brawl at Kumaka Waterfront, Mabaruma, Northwest District on August 3, 2022. The teen was remanded to the Juvenile Holding Center, while De Silva was remanded to prison. So, you need parts for your truck and you looked your eyeballs out and can't find it? Did you check Powered Automotive? Get high-quality DAF, International, Freightliner, Bedford TM, or Scammell truck parts at the lowest prices at Powered Automotive. Visit them at Lot 1161 EE Eccles, or call them on telephone number 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. An autopsy conducted on Monday confirmed that Hog Island farmer Romeo Prasad died from suffocation and blunt trauma to the head. Prasad's body was found floating in the Essequibo River on Sunday, tied to an anchor, bound and gagged with obvious marks of violence about the corpse. The police have since opened an investigation into the matter. Days after the body of 59-year-old Gaisuko security guard Angraj Kumar Indrapal was found floating in the Kanchi River, a post-mortem examination showed that he was murdered. An autopsy gave the cause of death as manual strangulation. Thus far, the police have arrested one person. Yesterday, 24-year-old career criminal Ryan Pompey was remanded to prison for armed robbery. He was charged with the crime just weeks after he was released from prison after serving a 3-year sentence for robbery. Pompey pleaded not guilty to the charge, which alleged that on August 6, 2022 at North Road, Georgetown, while being armed with a knife, he robbed Shane Paul of $45,000. He was remanded to prison until August 15th. 35-year-old Venezuelan national Francisco Somoza was killed by a reversing truck along the Sarah Joanna Public Road on the east bank of Demerara. Somoza was heading to work at Bounty Farm Limited when he met his demise. The driver of the truck was taken into police custody and is currently assisting with the investigation. It might not be robbery season, but the streets are still mean. That's why you need to get security for your home and business through Sheriff Security Service. Sheriff Security offers well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, K-9 services. These people even have drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest. Now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today. Data from the Ministry of Natural Resources website that tracks Guyana's oil production says that total production offshore Guyana peaked at 365,300,000 barrels per day on June the 3rd this year. According to Oil Now, the production data is generally updated monthly. The ministry receives daily production reports that are later verified against monthly production reports before being posted online. As of August 8th, the oil production data was available up to June 30th, 2022. The July data is expected to be added once verification is completed for that month. Now for our stupid news of the day. You know what I think is stupid? GPL was just given $4 billion yesterday, only to dig a system-wide blackout in our backsides the next day. You see what a stereotype GPL is? On Thursday, you tell a man you'll pay him on Monday, so he just decides to take Friday off from work. Ha-ha! No, but seriously, I don't have a good suggestion for this stupid news segment. Rather, consider this the beginning of our official blackout counter here at Uncut News. Because if they're going to keep giving us blackouts so often, we might as well figure out how much it's costing us in productivity. Not just us, but as a nation. And beyond that, you all need to demand better from the people we all voted to represent our interests, because to allow them to get away with this stupidness is pretty stupid. Now for our Uncut News Viewers Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it is. Yesterday's question was, how do you feel about this latest multi-billion-dollar supplementary budget? Is it a sign of growth or irresponsible spending? Spartan Life asks, which part of this spending is directed towards Guyanese that are currently struggling to make ends meet? That is a very good question. Unfortunately, I don't have the answer at the moment. Navindra Lal says, more money for them to thief. Oh my. And finally, Orvin King says no one is talking about the $150,000 cash grant for the fishermen. Wait, they already started that. Did you not get? Because if you didn't, you really need to follow up with that. So, before we get to tonight's question, you can multiply your cash by selling digital top-up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. Now for tonight's question. How do you feel about the hemp decriminalization bill? Will it open up new opportunities for poor farmers, or do you think the usual suspects will be the only ones to benefit from it? I want you to think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks.